Hey guys, this is J-Darb with another J-Darb Invitational promo match featuring Battlecake. Up here on the top left is the aforementioned playing as the red Protoss, and at the bottom right, the blue Protoss is Azathoth. Azathoth. I can see that, right? Okay. So, Battlecake, in the first moments of the game, slipping on probe production, just overwhelmed with the excitement of what's going on. There's another gap. Maybe he was needing minerals for the gateway, but I don't think so. He's really just decided 14's enough, not even 16. Really, you don't want to stop at all, but if you're going to, well, don't stop. There he goes back to producing probe. We have a really early forge. I don't know. Maybe his plan. Maybe he's gonna try a cannon rush or something. If he was, just FYI, the forge first would be preferred. I think. I'm not like a super good cannon rusher by any means, but that probe is just saying, get out of here. It is cool that it's going to delay any kind of wall as natural, but maybe it doesn't need a wall. I don't know. Azathoth going with 2 gateways, getting some zealots out ASAP. That's ASAP. I would like, really, we should see a cybernetics core by now, or a natural. But it looks like Battlecake was having some fun with his probe. Really, these first like 5 minutes are so crucial that if you just clean that up, I'm pretty sure you get way up there. But he'll throw down a gateway to use some of his minerals. And a few other things. Azathoth doesn't have any Nexus either, so it's not that big a deal that Battlecake doesn't, but it won't sustain past silver, probably. So, I'd like to see that Nexus go up. Warp Gate is being worked on. I'm a big fan of Warp Gate. I mean, it's pretty much the only reason to play Protoss. Battlecake's Zealot is showing Azathoth who's boss. And he's just running for the hills. That Stalker means some business. He hasn't done anything with the Forge. No upgrades, no cannons, so just cut that out. Cut it out. I mean, you do want to forge eventually, but right now, not necessary. So, a couple more gateways come up. Utilization of the warp gates is something that would be really primo. Azathoth has enough minerals to make his expansion, but he's not making any effort towards it. His main is pretty well probed up, so if he's only staying on his main, then he doesn't really need to make any more, but that is unrealistic. Battlecake, on the other hand, is like, his Nexus is super late, but he doesn't have any probes to populate it either, so both of these guys, I mean, is it a coincidence that they're both missing some mineral or some rating. I don't know, but Battlecake is getting a few more units. He's just ahead in supply by Azathoth, or Azathoth. Azathoth just goes in. Sorry, that's Battlecake, I guess. Queuing up a lot of probes. I mean, if you get in the habit of when you need to create probes, then you don't really have to worry so much about like going back and checking for them, because you always do it at the same interval. Whereas if you go and queue things up, you're not going to get into that habit, and you won't, like, you'll be wasting money regularly. So I wish that the bank would, I mean, I understand why it doesn't, but really, like, you should consider things that are queued as still being money in the bank. You can cancel them, so they effectively are, but it doesn't show it that way because those funds are allocated. But anyway, both of these guys I'm real happy to see are continuing with probe production. The gateways of Azathoth aren't as many as Battlecake's, but he's thinking that he wants to, he goes right by that probe. That's pretty funny. How? I think that the way that that happens is that he is clicking individual units when he goes to attack. He's not attacking. I mean, what I'm talking about is there was a probe and there was a pylon here, right? There still is a probe. The pylon got canceled. But Azathoth walked right by it. I think it's because he told him to go attack a specific stalker instead of attack things in that direction. And he could have had this probe killed. He could have had this delayed. That's just like something I never realized that affects lower leaks so much. But I've seen Battlecake do it a lot, and I think that it needs to be like just a habit to get out of. You want to click, sometimes you want to click individual things, like if you're trying to kill Siege Tank, or you're trying to kill Liberator, or, you know, some other obnoxious Terran unit, but most of the time you can just attack in that direction and it will be okay. There's no way that you can effectively micromanage every unit that they're going to attack, so don't just tell them attack in that direction. Azathoth has his offensive set up at this pylon. I don't really know why, but I guess it's fine. He warped in all these stalkers at home, or maybe he had them at home already? I'm not sure. Battlecake's maintaining a healthy lead in supply, but neither of them are going up that quickly. Battlecake is... It is good to see this forge finally get some use. Actually, I think that he already used it to get weapon upgrades, but he made these 2 robotics facilities and hasn't touched them yet. Has he? No. So that kind of thing would be nice, but Azathoth really wants to protect, I guess, protect that pylon. There's no incentive for Battlecake to push into this, right? I mean, now he could just destroy it, but like normally there's, if this army was to come up this way, maybe the incentive is just to kill the pylon, but I don't know. Basically, I just don't see a point in having this set up. He could use a warp prism. He has a couple of robotics facilities. It would accomplish what this is trying to do a little bit more effectively, but silver's gonna silver. The 4th expansion of Battlecake comes up, this is a pretty big improvement over what we've seen previously. Having his 4th by 10 minutes is pretty significant. On the other hand, he should have his 200 supply by 10 minutes and is only at half of it. These guys haven't really been respecting their warp gates at all. You can see by their minerals, their gas. Battlecake has been keeping up with probe production, so that's pretty helpful. It'll give him a lot of momentum over Azathoth soon. You see, already has 22 more than Azathoth, and so his mineral income is much higher. His gas is barely higher, but I'm thinking that he only has, yeah, see, he only has a couple, one guy to each of those. I mean, really, so what should normally be happening in these games, and I'm totally guilty of this. I'm not the best player either. But there should be a lot of checking up on all of the probes. I mean, these guys are made up pretty nicely. Make sure that you have your guys in gas. Make sure that you have your guys on minerals, that you have the right ones in the right places and all that kind of stuff. It looks like maybe Battlecake has been doing a pretty good job of that, because maybe he only has been producing up to how many you need. The reason that you want to keep going up further and further is you just grab another base, then you have the workers already and they can immediately go instead of otherwise, and that should be the pace that you're going at anyway. You want that income as soon as you can get it. He has 75 workers now, which means that basically he can stop. But yeah, it just needs a little bit of polish on the bases. Overall, pretty good though. The 5th base comes up. That'll be useful once his main mine's out. Or as his main mine's out. But Azathoth is just saying, I'm gonna end it with the push right here. These kill me. Unless, I mean, if this was the only way to Azathoth's base, and he was going to use this defensively, then I would get it. But as it is, there's no reason for Battlecake to push into it. So, I don't know. Here's a lot of queuing up of the units. In order to improve, you just gotta stop that, but I guess one thing at a time. And one thing for now would be just constant probe production. He is going for kind of a kitchen sink and splitting up his army. If he runs into, I guess he's just gonna walk right past Azathoth. If his army was caught like in parts, it could be disastrous, just because he, like, you know, what good is 200 supply if you're not fighting with your advantage? But he just goes to Azathoth's 3rd, and Azathoth takes that as his cue to just base trade. I don't know if he'll be able to get his trade in that quickly or not. This is a symptom of he's paying attention to other things, which I think is largely good. The stuff will die eventually, but now we're on to the next phase of the base trade. Killing all of these probes, all these hard-earned probes. He gets all of them except for there are 3 remaining here in the gas, or 2. That's pretty funny. He just wipes out all of them. Oh, I think the other one was over here. These warp prisms would be pretty useful in his army, and so would these guys, but they're not that useful. This Immortal is just slowly crab walking up to here. He'd be a big help in killing that base. Yeah. At this point, I mean, in a base race, most of the time anybody could win, but given that Battlecake and Azathoth have vastly different amounts of supply, I don't think that there's any reason for Battlecake to lose. He might go sacrifice all of these to that army, but I guess Azathoth is sacrificing a large number of his units to the army as well, so not that big a deal. Battlecake rebuilding. Fire must go on. So Azathoth would have to take out all of this to end the game. Similarly, so in order for Battlecake to end the game, he would need to destroy a couple. This guy's just hanging out. There's the structure you could go kill, man. Well, he needs to either destroy the army, in which case, like, Azathoth will probably leave. Anyway, he had a lot more of an army supply, and that's the kind of thing that wins games. But the other thing is, if he would kill all these buildings, he could end it as well, and they'll be revealed after you kill all of Azathoth's Nexi. Anyway, Battlecake takes a victory in a base trade. He'll be in the Jade Arb Invitational, which will be coming up next week. It's looking good, looking like we're going to be able to get a couple of people. As just in case you didn't know, like, the Jade Arb Invitational is a tournament that I'm putting on to sucker some of my friends into playing StarCraft. It's invite only, and it's supposed to be people that are like people that I know and that haven't played StarCraft before. So if you fit those criteria, I will invite you. Just let me know. But otherwise, we're not looking for, you know, like Silver League heroes outside of our circles. So we're gonna see who's the best out of them, and first prize will win $100. Hopefully we'll be able to do it multiple times and get to play in StarCraft as a regular thing. But yeah, Battlecake will be in it, and you'll get to see how he fares against other players, including B-Darby, Recoil, and that's all that we know so far, but we'll have some other guys too. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.